This is human. Regardless of his eyes, his ears, his arms or legs, or even his mind, this is a human being. Sometimes we use specific affixes to describe people, such as visually impaired, hearing impaired, physically challenged, intellectually disabled. This is a human, and he enhances his eyes, body, or brain. As long as his humanity remains intact, we call him a mechanically enhanced human, a cyborg. I don't think anyone who watches this video would deliberately discriminate against people with disabilities. However, when we unconsciously believe that healthy people should have more priorities than people with disabilities, it also causes social conflict. For example,
when this boy put up his hand and said, "Hey, miss, when are you going to start doing your speech?" And I said, "What speech?" I'd been talking to them about defamation law for a good 20 minutes. And he said, like your motivational speaking. When people in wheelchairs come to school, they usually say, like, inspirational stuff. Yeah. It's usually in the big hall.
Don't be surprised if people with disabilities become our classmates, our leaders, or our judges. Furthermore, this priority in inclusivity is reflected in architecture too, especially when we treat ADA compliance as the final step to check the standard of our projects rather than the first consideration at the beginning of the design process.
2 paramedics were found guilty of criminally negligent homicide Friday in connection with Elijah McClain's death, an unarmed 23-year-old black man who died after police stopped him while he was walking home in Aurora, Colorado in August 2019.
Elijah McClain merely exhibited some behaviors associated with autism, yet he was misjudged by the police as a threat, ultimately leading to his death. This tragic event reveals a lack of understanding among law enforcement officials about people with disabilities and highlights the systemic conflict and injustice that individuals with disabilities face in the justice system. To solve these conflicts, we truly hope that more and more people can speak up for individuals with disabilities. However, we have found that even people with disabilities rarely speak up for themselves. For example, people with specific physical or mental conditions can be excused from jury duty. Furthermore, many courts do not provide standard facilities that accommodate people with disabilities. This adds further barriers to their participation in legal matters. On the one hand, as we mentioned in Chapter 1, they are human, even if some of their body functions or faculties are replaced by other technologies. This raises the question, how much of a human can be replaced by technology and still be considered human? This question is similar to the ancient Greek philosophical story of the ship of Theseus. That is, if old materials taken from an old building are used to construct a new one, is the new building considered old or new? The concept from Chapter 2 suggests that people with disabilities should be included in the design process. Most people go through life using their senses, hearing, sight, touch, smell, and body awareness, without even thinking about it. However, as we've discussed before, people with visual, auditory, or physical impairments are often partially or completely deprived of these ways of experiencing the world. Our design tries to find a shared way of sensing. This shared sense is skin. The skin is not only the largest organ of the human body, but it is also the most direct interface between ourselves and the external world. Through our skin, we can perceive changes in temperature, the movement of air, variations in humidity, and even the texture of materials and the frequency of vibrations. This project is set in San Francisco, a city that frequently appears in cyberpunk narratives and is known for embodying the tension between high-tech advancement and low-life conditions. This high-tech, low-life trope captures the world where rapid technological innovation coexists with deep social inequality. In the real-world San Francisco, While technologies like AI, autonomous vehicles, and genetic engineering continue to redefine how cities function and govern, people with disabilities are often excluded from participating in these processes, are marginalized in physical urban space, and also in legal affairs, civic decision-making, and the broader narrative of progress. We chose the San Francisco Superior Courthouse as our project site to engage with the philosophical concept of the ship of Theseus. The original courthouse was severely damaged in the 1906 earthquake, rebuilt in 1915, and following the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, a new structure was designed to meet contemporary needs. The current courthouse was completed in 1998, with Mark Cavagnero Associates and collaborators leading the modernization effort. Just like the ship of Theseus, where continual replacement raises questions of identity, the courthouse, despite its physical transformations, maintains its core function as a place of justice, equity, and civic participation. This metaphor also reflects our design's perspective on disability and identity. Through further research into the aging population and the proportion of people with disabilities in San Francisco, we found that the percentage of disabled residents in the area surrounding the Superior Courthouse is significantly higher than the citywide average. At the same time, San Francisco is facing rapid climate change. In the coming years, the city will experience rising temperatures, increased rainfall, and other extreme weather events. This is an existing building, and its current interior is filled with densely packed functional layouts. The courthouse spaces are located on the south side while the offices occupy the north side. By removing these excess interior walls, we reveal the original column grid of the building. Taking it a step further, once the structure is opened up, we can more clearly observe its vertical circulation system. Based on the vertical circulation system of the existing building, we separate the elevator cores for visitors and staff. These vertical cores are then connected through a series of ramps. Based on our conceptual exploration of skin as a sensory interface, we introduced a large waterfall feature onto the building's central elevator core. To enhance ecological resilience and create a more inviting public environment, we designed a sloped park along the street-facing edge of the site. On the opposite side, we introduced a new office zone, and finally, we reintegrated part of the courthouse program back into the site.
How are y'all doing? Well, I tried to make them nice and I put the best down so
Imagine a world where accessibility is no longer an issue, where barriers no longer define spaces, and where this courthouse, once a symbol of struggle, is gently reclaimed by nature.